The real reason for Karrion Kross's WWE departure has been revealed. Plus, find out how Karrion Kross offended WWE higher-ups, and a released WWE star teases an AEW debut. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Karrion Kross has been the name on our chops for the last week or so. He left WWE, it seemed, at the start of this week. Signs were reportedly confiscated from Raw, but weren't. The chants were expected, but didn't come. But there's still some question marks as to whether or not Kross was part of the company. Well, Kross kind of put that to bed in an interview on the Ariel Helwani show yesterday.
Yeah, he says, my contract was up last week. I never actually received an offer until last week. I got the offer. I want to know how they came to the valuation of that offer. When I inquired about that, they were unwilling to provide that information and told me that I had 24 hours to agree to the offer, or they were rescinding it. So the next day, I asked if they have the information. They don't. And I said, I can't make an informed decision without the information. This is unbelievable. And I'd like to keep the dialogue open. And they rescinded the offer. And that's actually where we're at.
He went on to say, he said a few times during the interview that this wasn't a work and this wasn't him in character. He was really keen to point out that the events that are playing out were very much the case. And the reason behind the reason that he has gone, as he said there, was that he was given an offer. He wanted some details as to how they came to that particular number. He didn't say whether or not it was a low ball or a high ball. I would assume if you wanted more detail, it was a low ball. And they went, no, bye. The other part of that, which was quite intriguing, was Karrion Kross, during this initial phase, said, what's Scarlet's situation going to be? And they just said, look, we'll deal with you, and then we'll deal with Scarlet. Which again suggests to me they were going to let Scarlet go.
Yeah, because surely they come as a package deal, do they not, when they're a thing on screen together?
That's kind of what Karrion Kross was gearing towards. So Kross had made it clear, like, I need some details on actually how you come to this number. And, we're a package deal. So consequently, it led to WWE going, nah, forget the offer then, thanks, bye.
That 24-hour thing is unbelievable. A decision you would assume is going to shape the next 3, 4, 5 years of your life. You got a day. You got a day to sort it out.
Yeah, it doesn't. Something stinks about it all. I mean, not in the sense that I think it's a work. If this is all a work, then it's really grim behaviour because he's got so much support behind him, and the company is being portrayed in such a weird negative light. This is a really weird work if it is. Oh, we told what a great story we told. Yeah, we made you think that you're all assholes.
Well, yeah, we know that already, don't we?
I mean, well done, I guess. Kross was upset with how the situation went down. He said, it's unexpected. I'm not sure I had a high level of expectation. Anytime I've ever gotten on board with a company, it hasn't quite been in the terms of communication. I'm not trying to turn this into a game. It is not a game for me. It is my life. I'm very big on loyalty, but loyalty is a two-way street. I'm very interested in trying to recover what I think is easily recoverable. But it takes two people to come together and talk about it. And I'm still here. So he still very much says throughout this interview that he is open to talking with WWE more. He talks about what happened after WrestleMania. So he got tongues wagging when he did that interview, and it seemed like he went proper off the rails.
The Soldier one.
Yeah.
The Soldier Boy interview.
Soldier Boy, tell him. And we all went, oh, is he all right? Is everything all right home there, Kross? So we were all wondering about it. Miscommunication comes into play here as he says that interview was done with the design of getting him over, but there was a few cross wires and a few forms that weren't filled out, metaphorically, that upset WWE.
Yeah, he says, I let everybody know, let's make sure this is somewhat protected from the audience, but let everyone know internally that this is a work. Sure enough, not everyone knew that it was a work. People were very upset with it because they thought it was real. We see people, specifically higher-ups, they were offended. So he's clearly gone for the Miz TV, the SmackDown, Talking Smack, Miz, back in the day, Daniel Bryan one, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And he's gone, oh, let's do that again. And everyone's gone, yeah, but they've not told anyone.
It's not got to the right people. Kross thought he was clear to do the promo improvisionally. But that wasn't relayed to people at the top. Ultimately, it led to Kross catching Paul Levesque after a meeting. He said, I one day waited for Hunter outside a production meeting. Once was actually brought to my attention that he was not okay with it, I explained everything to him. No one had told him anything. So as far as I know, at that point, we were good. But everyone was under the impression, and a lot of people, that I just lost my mind. I was just trying to do my job. That is my job. That day was to make people believe like any other day. So it sounds like, so basically, he said, he told some people, I'm going to do this shoot promo. Let Paul and that know. Yeah, we will. I'm going to go for lunch. And then just didn't. And so then people within management just went, why is he just going for us?
Well, that's the thing. It goes back to that thing, oh my God, that you got to step on some eggshells backstage to create some noise. And then when people do, it's like, you're an asshole. You know, you can't win in that company. Oh, just in wrestling in general, can you?
Companies like, I think every company, whoever's running the company, will always have an idea as who they want to push and how. And there is always this encouragement of, just keep going, give it the old college try, put yourself out there, and let's see where it gets you, But in some cases, your face will never quite fit the mold. And I think with Karrion Kross, you play the game, you be the good soldier, and it doesn't get you anywhere. So therefore, you try and step on the eggshells as you make a bit of noise, squeaky wheel, gets the grease, doesn't get you anywhere either. And despite the fact that there is like a groundswell of support, and do you know what? It's funny because it reminded me a little bit of the Zack Ryder stuff, and it was from a very different regime, but it's the same thing where there was a groundswell of support. For Karrion Kross that they somewhat capitalized on, but then ultimately went, no.
Yeah.
Forget that. Kross did say that he still wants to work in WWE. He says, I would prefer to go back home with my wife and give the people what they want. Home meaning WWE. Despite the fact it's been frustrating, I still want to go back. The goal has always been to be with WWE. My wife and I still want to be with WWE. I'm at the table for conversations. I did not step out of the conversation. We still want to be there. We still want to work it out. He wants to go back to WWE. I don't know whether he's made that clear.
Where do you want to go? Not AEW?
No, AEW, no.
Oh.
I've seen a few people going, he should go to AEW. I don't think he'd fit.
Me neither.
I don't think he'd fit in AEW. I honestly don't think he'd fit. They could have a laugh and do Killer Kross in TNA again. That was a hilarious time. Just like this random guy turned up backstage going, hey man, these people keep getting beaten up. And then after about 7 weeks, he went, it was me beating them up. I was like, I kind of guessed.
That's the one thing, in terms of Karrion Kross, it's like the holistic package as a professional wrestler. There's one facet of it for me that's a lot stronger than the other, and that's the promos. The promos is way stronger.
Yes.
So in AEW, obviously, it's a bit more about the work rate sort of stuff, in-ring kind of thing. I think you would be showing up in there because it's a different kind of style to what he does in the WWE.
It's a different energy. It's a different energy. Now, despite this, they are free agents. But Karrion Kross said quite interestingly that he's had a few people tentatively reach out, but are nervous to really take it any further because they think it's all a work and it might fall under contract tampering. We heard this from Fightful Select, actually. They mentioned MLW was one of those companies that said to Fightful, we want to work with Karrion Kross, but we think this is all part of a storyline. Yeah. So if we, so there's a concern that if you approach him, then you're sort of breaking the guidelines of what is planned.
Surely you're within your rights to at this current time after what he said. So it's not a work he said on an interview that goes around the world. And then if he goes back to you like, keep it on the DL, but I'm still employed. You're not going to be breaking any rules, surely.
It would be. Imagine if these companies had approached him, and maybe this is the master plan. Maybe all these companies are going to approach Kross for work, and he's going to go, I was employed. You're all getting done for contract tampering. Every wrestling company shuts down. WWE the only game in town. Then, now, forever. Together, but just us. Kross and Scarlet are making their first post-WWE appearance in November 15th at the big event in New York, which is the biggest autograph signing in the Northeast, but I expect them to pop up somewhere else between now and then.
I was going to say before then, but also on Saturday, November the 15th, at the big event NY, will there be WWE people there who are contracted to the company?
Oh,
that's what made me wonder there. Yeah. So could they be there? If this is a work, then we're still maybe discussing. Is it not?
We're still being worked. Oh no!
I don't think it is now, is it? I don't know.
I don't know. It's gone from it's WWE when I was a kid. WWE was sort of like this warm, friendly, inviting television program, and now it feels like a gaslit relationship.
I quite enjoy it though, Tom. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
this line of work, you read about 7 outcomes for everything before one of the 7 outcomes happens. I like the fact that we don't know what's going on. That's what wrestling is.
Sometimes it's nice to be with sometimes there's something about being in a relationship which is a little bit edgy and a little bit. Get that picture of Natty Night off there. Get that off there! Honestly.
But I guess on the flip side of things, when it comes to contracts, I guess that's one place you don't really work, because we do see people unfairly released. I'll say it. I'll say it with loud and proudly in my voicey. But yeah, you do see people like unfairly released, like a little bit of the contract, which has got several years left to run, as we'll talk about in a second there.
Yes,
so
indeed.
it feels like working with contracts maybe isn't the right thing to do, and I'll just shut up.
Well, maybe. No, don't shut up, because we're going to roll into this story that you're hinting at here. Shayna Baszler was on the Ariel Helwani show last night as well. Recently released from WWE. She talked about it.
Yeah, she said, I had like 3 more years. I had not too long ago signed an extension. I wish it would have run out, but I was released. It's never a good feeling, but it was not unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, she talked about how the Pure Fusion Collective had tried numerous different things backstage, online, to try and sort of get some momentum going. We saw a few times like some sort of shooty-esque comments on socials by the Pure Fusion Collective, but Shayna says that when Sonya Deville got let go, kind of the writing was on the wall. Says it's a bummer in that moment, but I kind of knew where we were at. Now, back in May, a picture with Marina Shafir and Shayna Baszler appeared on Marina's Insta.
Oh.
And I went, oh, that's nice. Now, Shayna commented on this, saying, it's not a secret that I'm really good friends with Marina, but I have a lot of friends in AEW. So there's been discussion of what the future could hold.
I would not mind a ladies' tag team of Marina and Shayna, just ripping folks' necks out. It would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Obviously, 2 of the 4 horsewomen back in the day.
Yeah. Here's a thought, right? Obviously, the Death Riders story arc is kind of coming to an end, and I'm fine with it. But what if you have a Death Rider story arc that sees Jon Moxley expelled from the Death Riders? You've failed us too many times. I am Marina Shafir, and I am the new leader of the Death Riders.
But I'll never cut a promo.
Best not. But she becomes the new leader of the Death Riders, and she brings in her mate Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, I think it just works, doesn't it?
And then they become AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, and they're the only people to ever hold the belts for 25
Before
years.
they're retired and they're never heard from again.
Wrestling. That's what we do. It's a Hold and Give Thursday.
Yes, 9 p.m. BST. I'll be live on the Hold and Give Football YouTube channel. Just search that on YouTube and you'll find it. Yellow icon.
What's happening? What's happening on there tonight?
I'm a Liverpool manager, so I am. So it's continued the career mode. We're 5 or so years in now, and we've just started a season last week. I can't remember which one it is. The 29-30 season, potentially. We're all going to be dead soon.
Oh, dear. Make sure Ross Tweddle never walks alone by joining him on the Hold and Give YouTube channel tonight. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.